I've been making soul sample beats for the past 2 years, and trust me, making sample beats is tough. What's even harder is getting started. So in this video, I'm going to give you the bare minimum knowledge you need to make your very first sample beat. First up, choosing good samples. Pro tip, if you don't know where to start, take a song you love, find out what it sampled, and then dig into that artist's discography. What I'm looking for is clean vocals, but also a song that's not too overwhelming or cluttered. After some digging, here's what I found. I love how clear the vocals are and how simple the instrumentation is once you ignore the drums. Now let's find the right part of the sample to use. First, I'll use BPM Finder to get the tempo, set that up in Ableton and drag the sample in. What's important here is to take your time picking the section you're going to sample. Like for example, this intro sounds perfect. It's simple and clean, but if we get further into the track, the song builds up and gets too busy. That might work for a chorus, but not for a verse. Okay, so first what we need to do is find the downbeat. Usually that's like the first kick, so the like sound. And once we have that, we can set that as our starting point. And now we can start counting to the beat, so we can count out like 8 bars. So basically when it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, until we get like 8 bars. So we count to 4 8 times basically. Now what I like to do is set my warp mode to re-pitch and then just adjust the tempo to find a pitch that sounds good. Because this kinda emulates what they used to do back in the day. Instead of like changing the tempo and the pitch like separate of each other, this kinda emulates actually speeding up a record vinyl. Quick warning, if you're using the re-pitch mode, don't over quantize, just warp the overall 8 bar loop, because if you try to quantize like every hit, then you will end up with a mess. Alright, let's chop it up. There's a few ways to chop, and by the way, I go over every single technique in detail inside Sample Academy, so if you want to learn everything about sampling, get access to dope samples, drum packs, learning resources, and our community, then hit the first link in the description and let's get started. But for this beginner guide, I'm gonna show you a guaranteed way to make your chops sound great. Shout out to Navy D for inspiring this method. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna chop around the bassline. Drag your sample into a sampler, set it to slice by beat. I usually set it to quarter notes, but since this is double time, I will use halves. And now you can play those chops on your MIDI or keyboard. To make this easier, add a simple EQ and cut out everything above 500 Hz. That way you're only focusing on the bass movement, and play around until you find a melodic idea that flows with the bass line. Here is what I came up with. So now we can remove the earlier EQ and we can add Cymatics Origin, a free plugin that makes samples sound great, and add a little EQ to actually cut out the bass, so we can add our own later. Now for the fun part, the drums. Listen, drums are the most important part of your beat, so don't rush them. If you're going for that old Kanye style, then choose drums that don't actually knock that hard, because that's what Kanye used to do. So for this video, we're keeping it simple. I'm gonna place my snares on 2 and 4, or in this case actually 3 and 7, because I'm using double time, and the kick on 1, and just sprinkle a few extra in with taste. Now for hi-hats, Kanye often leaves them out for the first half of the loop and then brings in a simple 2-step pattern, so we'll do the same. and some nice sounding percussions for flavor, but remember not to overdo them. And of course don't forget toms. The old Kanye loves toms. You can add a little tom fill at the end of every 4 or 8 bars. Finally, let's add the bass. The easiest way for beginners, export your beat and run it again through BPM Finder, and this will give you the key of your song. So once you know your key, just go back into the DAW and input that into your MIDI so it highlights the notes, and then just build out your bass line. This way you basically can't do anything that will sound bad. So here's the bass line I came up with. I used Analog Lab for this, and that's actually it. Here's our finished beat. If you're serious about learning how to make crazy sampled beats, come join Sample Academy. You will get my personal help, tons of samples and drum kits, full learning resources, and an awesome sampling community. Click the first link in the description and I'll see you inside.